All right. Today's hands are both pocket jacks. Uh, Looked at my database and hands where I open raise preflops and get called, or at least I raise. I've lost money with pocket jack. So I'm going to focus on those hands today. So, hand number one, 10 NL game, get pocket jacks in position. I have a limper. I raise to big blind. So let's check out our limp. 56 hands, IP and options 33%, pre-flop raise about half of those. His raise first in is 2 out of 11. So probably raises tight and then limps with a lot of hands. So do is kind of take out ace kings, assume he would raise those. Probably this range. 13%, 13% limping, maybe suited 16%, including it's okay. So something like that. And I say suited ace because a lot of people do recognize, do like the strength. Got an ace, they suited, so they like it. Jacks going to be doing well against this range. Basically, are at the top of their pocket pair range. Any other are unpaired, so should be doing okay. Like the raise, try to so that we have position on this player. Big blind calls and early position plays. So I don't have any stats on 20. We unknown first hand table. So just go something overly hit overly is this kings. It's 21%. Might add suited one gappers, but here's a big S color raise and then one person behind. All right, so I don't know. Nope, no extra notes. So let's go to the top. It's ace of diamonds, 10 of spades, 7 o'clock. Looking at this player, he's a flop with top pair or better. So about 30% of the time with open ended straight draw, I like to. So 30% of the time he's going to hit the hand. Think about, is he bet or check? Most players are going to check their entire range. They're going to check to the razor. So we're going to keep his entire range in here. What about this player? Limped. Look at his top pair plus. He's at 4%, so he's probably more likely to hit that ace because he has all the aces. He's got all the suited aces, some of the offsuit aces. So he's going to bet probably not same reasons as this guy. Players don't bet, although this guy does. So I've got one out of 3. Let's see what he next guy folds, and then so as done. Don't assume that top pair, but we are strong. So ace queen, that's out. Pocket pair below top pair, probably full pair. Just to see where it's at. Pair, I think on top pair. Go ahead and just say maybe it's weighted at. I don't think he has any of these. It's a pair. I think probably say 4. Less like so against that range. Oh, I don't think it's gonna be a set. I don't think it's 2 pair. I think pair it's gonna. So we're at 31%. Being good. Fold. Our play here could be. I mean, we could fold, but I think kind of fold is a little too tight with our pocket pair. I think we can plan to make a raise. So, or we could to take the pot away the hand. I think if we're gonna do it, so he only bet 1/3 pot. I think if we raise, we're gonna raise it up to 12. He'll probably call on the turn, betting from 2/3 up to full size pot. He would most of his aces at that time. So I think that's the plan we should do. X, we want to apply pressure on him because if he had one, I think ace king out, I think he would. I think ace queen to be scared of ace king, and I don't ace queen. I think he would just check call. I think 2 pairs and sets would probably go check rate either up or at some point. I think he's kind of capped at top pair weak kicker. I didn't do that. I just called, and it's a mistake. 4 clubs comes. He checks now. And at this point, he bet we could have an ace. So we should be betting. Should probably just bet them all. Him checking. What does he have? So he may have picked up a flush draw aces. So if we get those hands, which probably doesn't have, we'll include 10 jack. Still bet. This player will check at top pair, so I think we could catch here is that he's 25 big blinds in the pot and he has only 32. Maybe we should have looked. So if he bet, if I raise to 12, he called 8 more, gives him 12. It's going to be a pot size bet. He may get stubborn. He may get stubborn and call this ace, and he's like, oh, if you got an ace, I'll just call anyway, just to confirm. Here's the situation now. We should just probably T checked. It's possible that he picked up 2 pair. That's percent a hand. I think if we shove them all, he's going to be faced with the decision thinking possibly, since I didn't do that. I bet 3/4 pot. He called. So once he called, top pair, 2 pair. We didn't have pressure. We didn't shove them all. Pocket pair, below top pair. I don't think so. But we're gonna have the flush. At that, we're way behind. That's why I think try to maximize. He calls, and then 3 hearts. He checks again. He should just check behind. I'm expecting to lose the same. I know I already lost. Save ourselves some money. He checked. He's giving us showdown. I don't think he's going to fold 16.7 into a $50 pot. So I go ahead and check behind. Did. And he shows ace. That's it. It's ace 5 suited. It's in his range, kind of what we expected. And that's why I think if we raise the flop, it gives him reason. It's kind of representing that ace king, and I think we would get the fold. I think we would get the fold most of the time. I'd fold that ace, but most of the time to make that play. All right, so here's hand. Let's clear out and look at it. All right, hand number 2 is also jacks. We are in the hijack, so middle position. Fold it to me. I raise, and both of the blinds fall. Like villain number, it's complete so we can do is give him a standard type of opening. He's last act, so it's probably all because he closes the action. Something just standard. This may be way too wide for the player. It's say what he's playing, but I think that's the big blind. The small blind. Small blind call. He may actually have about the same range. Taste it. Say that he probably is the same range. Gonna make him a little bit because he's in the small blind. He's gonna be in the entire hand, so 20%. That's probably okay. It's my jack. Hearts and diamond. So we should be raising in this spot. We get called, and now we're going to the. It's 8-6-6. 8 of spades, 6 spades, 6 of hearts. So our board is paired, and small blind check. I'm gonna say again, most players will check that small blind, check to the razor, but the big blind raises. Now it's kind of interesting on a board like this because I've seen players respond. So they could be donk betting here with an overpair. They could be donk betting with 6. Could be donk betting with 8. Pot's 9, and he only bet 2 point big blinds. So he bet on the smaller side, maybe quarter pot. About quarter pot size bet. So with that, I have to. I'm gonna ignore. I think it's a possibility. But I think it's going to be overpair, top pair, overpair, top pair. Probably that's it. So at all those 8s, he's got 9s, 10s, jacks, and I just think have a 6th. He's probably just gonna check. He's just gonna check and let me bet, or he's gonna bet bigger. I think if he has a full house, it doesn't make sense. Check and let someone else. So I donk betting a range, and against that range, I'm ahead. I'm ahead because of that 8. So I should at least call, but with that size bet, I think it might be better to raise on the hand because what kind of eights he has? The eights, he has a king in there. Don't want a spade to come up and freeze the action. So I think if we raise, he'll probably call. Then if a spade comes and we fold, get our money in now while we're ahead at 77%. I didn't do that. I just called, and then villain 8 raises, checks, basically everything. This is what is he going to with? I think a flush draw is entirely possible. Flush draw. Flush draw. Out. Open end is a possibility. I think that's a low percentage by most of the players. I don't think checking top pair. Over pairs, definite possibility. I think sixes, full house, three of kind is going to play that way. I think full house could play that way. This quads is less likely. Full house would be pocket eights, 6. I'm not sure why full house would check raise at this point. He's big, especially 8-6. I would expect them just to check and call. So we've got a mix of big cards, solid cards, and that flush draw. Against that range, I'm only 4. So next guy calls, and I think he call no matter what. I think he's going to call at least once just to see what happens. You know, if he could easily fold if he doesn't improve because he's got top pair. He's probably looking for say king or something like that. Believe his range here, and then it comes back to us. It is about 7.9 big blinds call. So I have to call 7.9. Getting 10.9, so the size of the pot plus 7 point. Need 20% equity to make this call. I do have that. 77 again. Yeah. 8 against another player, and so let me open up Hold'em EQ. So it's up, so you can see that overall, individually, I'm ahead. I'm 48%, almost 49% against check raisers. Factor in the other player, 7%. So getting have the equity to call. So odd odds was at 20%. We actually had 37. So I think the call was fine here. Turn was the 8 of hearts, which changes things up quite a bit. So now against those range, down percent. So all of those 8s, if he had top pair, had the 8, now hit the full house. 6s, trip 6s now hit the full house, or basically just jacks at that point. Or maybe the case 8 if had a 6. So villain 8 checks villain. So would he check quads? Yes. Would he check full house? Yes. Would he check all full houses? Yeah, I think so. Would he check the overpair? I think so, yeah. Check ace high. Flush draw. Yeah, check all of those. What about this player? Fine. Would he check all of this? Yeah, I think once he hit the full house, checking at 57% time, he's getting full. 42.9%, he's going to have a pair. Check all of those out. against, I consider their checking range. We're behind. We should just check behind now. I don't think we get any folds. I don't think eight's gonna fold. 6 is gonna fold. Uh, this is just check behind and hope we catch a jack. Note that he has 27 big blinds, so he could have easily put them all in, but he didn't. Kind of either means that he now afraid of full house, or he himself has that. I didn't check behind. I bet 18. I bet half pot, and I got check raised. A villain 8, villain 1. So this guy's done. It's out, and it comes to so he check raises it. I think he's gonna check raise the bottom full house. I don't think he's gonna check raise with the flush draw or the ace high anymore. He's gonna check raise that overpair. I don't think so. If he does, you can see that I'm on 8%. So again, I'm getting the odds to call. I'm getting have 18. It says 18%. Getting the equity to call, but I don't think he's gonna have an overpair. Doesn't make sense for him to check raise again. I think he probably would have fold down. So taking that out, we're behind. Should just done with. Should have checked in the first place, but called. It's a mistake. And Queen of Hearts comes, and at this point he bets. We should be done. We're out. I didn't do that. I called. I don't know why. I called, but I did. And I guess we know this guy's a tight player, so his range probably was something that influenced me. So when we look at his small blind, he really hasn't played anything. I think that's probably why I was thinking maybe he's gonna have a pocket pick. I called to see what he has. He shows Jack 8 clubs. So he had the full house. I didn't have the 8. I didn't have Jack 8 in his range. And I think it's kind of just I probably, if I were to start, I'll admit, and I forgot to look at this ahead of time. We look at his ranges. Yeah, even though small one out of 22, BPIP, we don't know what was happening. Constantly betting, or if it's constant, rebetting, what the situation was. You can see that he's 8% and then 13, 17%. So I would count a little bit looser lines. It's somewhat similar numbers as to me. Knowing that when we put in Jack 8, it's surprising that he check raised on the flop. So what we can do is add a note. Him. Check raise, small blind, top pair, with top pair, board. Also, you need to say just kind of and what he called with. So we added the notes. We didn't have any notes, but now we've added some called Jack's pre-flop raise from small blind with Jack 8 club. So even though his number is tight, we know that we can suited connectors, gappers, 1 and 2 gaps, flop raise. Now, if we think about his how he played it. I think it makes sense. Other than the check raise. But here he checks, and this guy, that's kind of a smaller donk bet. That could be an 8, could be a 9, 8, 8, 7, 5. And it's a jack 8, so we check raise top pair. And an okay kicker, jack kicker. About my range, if I have an 8, it's going to be 8, 9, 7. So, and once he fills up, it makes sense for him to check at that time. So, going back in the, we didn't think he would check raise top pair. When we add those in, look, now you can see how his equity drastically changed. So now it's like, yeah, he could still have the overpair, but full house is going to be much more like, so 40%, almost 40% house. 40% is a full house. Then when he checks again, we add the overpair too as his check raising range. And that queen of hearts comes, then you're looking at drastically skewed. Yeah. So we didn't have his in our range because we didn't have the jack 8. Now we know we add it, and we also didn't think he would check raise with top pair. Made a note for him. Time we encounter him, play like that. Top pair hands in that. If you enjoyed it, look tomorrow for hands.